Hey everybody, I'm back. And first thing, I want to thank everyone for the great response I got on my Braciole video. I'm so happy everybody enjoyed it. I appreciate all the comments. And of course, the one comment that I got is, you made the Braciole for Masterchef. What about the risotto? Well, ask and you shall receive. Because today, I'm making that risotto that Braciole was on top of on Masterchef. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all of our ingredients. First thing we're going to start off with is a cup and a half of arborio rice. Make sure you get yourself a good arborio rice. Second, we have 2 cups of chopped asparagus, 2 cups of chopped mushrooms. I have 1 cup of shredded parmesan cheese. And then, guys, listen, on Masterchef, I had fresh peas. I blanched them, I put them in. It's winter in New England. We don't have any fresh peas. The only peas that we have here, they're frozen. So, I got my peas, I got a half a cup of dry white wine, I got 1 teaspoon of pepper, 2 teaspoons of salt. Now, on the salt. My mother's recipe, which this is, called for 2 teaspoons of salt. Me, I salt to taste, because you never know how salty that chicken broth is that you made. Some people like a little more salt, some people don't. So until I get it all ready, I'm not going to add that whole 2 teaspoons. But for today's recipe, we're going to call it 2 teaspoons. And then I have 8 tablespoons of butter. 4 to start the rice, and 4 that's going to start my sauteed vegetables. So I'm going to get this all ready, and when we come back, we're going to be making risotto. The first thing we're going to do is I've dropped 4 tablespoons of butter into that pan. We're going to let that melt, and I'm going to give you the lowdown on risotto, okay? It's very delicate. If you simmer it too slow, it's going to turn into oatmeal. If you simmer it too fast, it's going to be hot as a rock. All right? There's a fine line of how much arborio rice can absorb for it to be the right texture. You got your 6 cups of chicken broth back here. It's simmering, all right? And we're going to add the wine first, and it's going to cook off. And then we're going to start a half a cup at a time. I'm going to ladle a half a cup in, we're going to stir it, we're going to close it, we're going to let it cook down. 5 minutes later, we're going to come back in, we're going to add another half a cup. Stir it out, let it cook down. Half a cup at a time. You just keep adding half a cup, close to 6 cups, okay? But that's the way risotto is made. It's definitely a slow process, but it's certainly going to be worth it in the end. Our butter, it's melted. And now I'm going to add our arborio rice. I'm going to give that a nice stir. Just a minute or 2 right there. And then we'll start adding our wine. Alright guys, you can see, as you see in there, it's frying up, sauteing nice. Now, you definitely do not want this rice to get dark. That's not what we're doing here, okay? This has been on about 3-4 minutes, and that's as much as I want to give it. So like I said, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit it with that half a cup, okay? There we go. Now, I'm going to lower this. I'm going to go about 3 right here, all right? And I'm going to stir this up, and we're going to cover it. So I'm going to give that a few minutes, and we'll be back. Alright, see that? The wine, it's gone, okay? It's all gone. First absorption. So now, my ladle, this represents a half a cup. This is the first half a cup of chicken broth. See it? It's hot. Right in, okay? Stir this in. We're going to cover it. We're going to give this a few minutes, and we're going to let that half a cup absorb. Now that the wine is done, this is when you want to start your vegetables. So I'm going to turn my pan on about 4, and I'm going to drop in 2 of these 4 tablespoons. We'll see how much butter we need. I'm not going to throw all 4 in yet. So we're going to start that, we're going to let that melt, and when I come back, we'll be ready for another ladle of chicken broth, and I'll be starting our vegetables. Okay, as you can see, that next ladle is ready to go in. First one is gone. Alright, so now that's 1 cup. There we go. And now, we'll let that absorb in. Of course, now you see our butter, it's ready. And the first thing I'm going to put in is our asparagus. That takes the longest to cook, alright? So we're going to get that rolling right there. Mix the butter around. And when we come back, we'll be ready for another ladle of chicken broth, and we'll be adding our mushrooms. Okay, see that? Now we're on to ladle number 3. And like I told you guys, this is definitely a process. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to stir that in. Just think, we only have to do that, I don't know, 6, 7 more times. We'll be done. Now, at this point, I'm also going to throw in my mushrooms. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to let those get rolling, and when we get back, of course, we're going to have another ladle of chicken broth. Alright, so this is where I determined that it needs another tablespoon of butter. Alright, it's a little bit dry. Certainly don't want it to get dry. So I'll throw another tablespoon in there, and I'll let that melt. And as soon as we get back, we'll be ready for another ladle of chicken broth. Okay, so we're another 3 or 4 ladles in. And I'm going to give it another ladle. And now it's time to also hit our vegetables with the peas. Now, I did steam these peas in the bag, so they're cooked. So, this is 2 cups of peas. Now, you know, this is one of those things. Put as much as you want. You don't need to put all these vegetables in your risotto. If you want a heavy vegetable risotto, you add them all. If you don't add all of them. It's entirely up to you. So this is one of those preference things depending on how much vegetables you want in your risotto. This is where I'm going to hit this with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, because this is almost done. Alright, so we'll get those seasoned up. And I think we have 1 more scoop of chicken broth left, and we'll be ready to go. Now, I've added 5 cups, 10 half-cup ladles. And you know something? I think this is done. Okay? I'm not going to add that last cup of chicken broth. This is one of those things. That amount of rice, it only wanted 5 cups. I had 6 cups. If I needed 6 cups, I would have used it, but you know something? I'd rather have 1 extra than not enough. Okay? So as far as I'm concerned, this is done. Okay? I don't want my rice to be any softer than that. So the next step, what we're going to do is I'm going to mix this cheese. Okay? And of course, guys, anybody who's seen me on Masterchef knows that with 30 seconds left on the clock, I forgot to put the cheese in my risotto. And my cousin Dom looks over and goes, "Hey, there's a cup of cheese here." And everything you saw on Masterchef and that countdown to 0, that was the real thing. With 30 seconds left, I had to take that risotto off of the plate, back in the pan, add the cheese, mix it up, get it back on the plate, get the braciolas on top of it, and get it ready to serve to Gordon Ramsay, Joe Bastianich, and Aaron Sanchez. So what you saw there was 100% the real thing. But today, I'm not going to forget the cheese. So, we add our 1 cup shredded Parmesan cheese. And that's going to get mixed up, and now I'm going to take it right off, even though that burner is off. I'm going to take it off because I don't want it to stick or burn at the bottom. Okay, and you can see how that cheese is just, oh yeah, love that. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, because of course my pan has now become too small. I'm going to put this right into the bowl. Alright, beautiful. Okay, and now I'm going to add my vegetables. And me, I'm a big vegetable guy. I said, you know, you want to add the vegetables? Yeah, I add all the vegetables. Okay? This is what it's all about right here. Now, we get the mix. Oh yeah. Look at that. Okay, so I am going to now salt and pepper this to taste. And when we come back, I'll give you the final product. Alright everyone, here it is. My vegetable risotto from Masterchef. Now, let me say this. You can put whatever you want in your risotto. Some people make seafood risotto. Love seafood risotto. Some people put saffron. If you don't like asparagus, don't put it. Put something else. Doesn't matter. Whatever you have, you put in there. Just like my great-grandmother. Whatever she had, she put in there. So, let's see what we got. That's delicious. Guys, try this at home. Please comment below. Let me know how you made out. Let me know if you have any questions. If you enjoyed this video, please click that like button. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as always, don't forget to live, laugh, and cook Italian.